Good morning. I'm just organizing myself here on the table. How's everybody in this lovely Saturday morning? Although the weather is a bit overcast here, and I think it's going to be a day of beading or doing something indoors for sure. We got loads to sort of crack on and get started with. Where did I put them, Simon? I had them out yesterday. Could be on the table over there. Sorry, I just sat down and I got every material out, and then I'm looking. Oh, I got them. Sorry, they're down here with me. I put my samples in a safe place where I can reach them, and probably about 2 minutes ago I panicked because I couldn't find them. Oh dear, and it's all in the morning. But never mind. Hope everybody is good. The weather is hopefully better where you are than here, and enjoying your weekend. So today we're going to be doing wire wrapping. Now I love wire wrapping because wire wrapping is a very easy technique, and you can make a substantial piece of jewelry, more like I guess a showstopper piece or like a feature piece of jewelry with very easy techniques, and you can make them very, very easily. Now I have used this technique quite a lot before, because when we like plan to go ahead or like, you know, it's jewelry always the last thing what like you put on when you get ready. So this was years ago. We were going at to an event, an evening event, and I was all dressed up and I could not find the turquoise necklace I had to save my life. I just couldn't see it anywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere. So I had 15 minutes to make a necklace up to match my dress, which I did get done, and it looked really, really great. I did a turquoise chip, and I actually should have brought it down. It's upstairs in my jewelry box. Yeah, so it's a really easy technique, perfect for beginners, very quick to make. You know, just add your beads on the wire first, and then you're good to go. You're just gonna wrap it around. Right, so let me just quickly say hello to you all. If you're new today, please do say new in the comments, and let us know where you're watching from, because we have ladies from all over the world, and we love meeting new people to sort of want to just welcome you into our little beading family here. So good morning, Alicia, Helen, Paula, Lucy. I don't sort of say hello to everybody every single morning because of the time scale, but today, because it's such a quick make, we got a little bit more time to sort of hang out and chat. Morning, Lucy, Joe, Carol, Rachel says it's raining here in South Yorkshire, a dull but dry in Devon, Carol's saying. Joe's having a dull day. Morning, Maxine. Judith is saying, I've been watching yours since March but never put anything in the comments. Love your videos every day. Well, welcome, Judith, and thank you so much for the comments. Thank you so much for being here. Morning, Sarah, Alison, Diane. Dennis saying, morning, Kitty, can't stay long, must get carrots. No rain so far in Swindon. Good morning, Camille. Camille is saying dull and grey here in Wiltshire, so might be all over the UK. Is anywhere sunny where you are? Do let us know, because we're all gonna head there for the afternoon. Good morning, Sheila, Linda, Jen. Jen is saying it's chilly western supermare. Jean, good morning, Jean. So he's got one of our kits on C and Create and Craft, because we had this kit on Create and Craft, and she's sitting down eager to watch the tutorial she can make along with me. Good morning, Dean, Angela, Pamela, Elaine, Mercia, Joe, Francis, Julie, Karen, Nadia. Nadia is saying a gloomy day here in London. Morning, Jitty, Annie, Carol, Jean. Oh, they're saying good morning, Simon, because his head popped up, I suppose, when he was trying to help me. He was like, help, I don't know where I put my samples. And he was on the other side, right by me. Hey. Good morning, Dorothy, Angela, Hilary, Camille, Mina, Paula, Gillian. Lots of you here this morning. So let's get started. I'm going to turn you down Sorry, wobbling a couple of bit. I just want to move my coffee just from over there. I'm just petrified that I'm gonna. I did it before. I knocked my coffee over and the coffee went everywhere. Paul is saying, think the sun is trying to come out here near Aberdeenshire. Good morning, Simon. Right, let's turn you down, and then we're gonna get making. We're gonna start making something. Right, so wire wrap jewelry is in the name, so we're just gonna add all our beads. I'll just get rid of this end. All our beads onto our wire, and we're gonna wrap it around our thicker cord. And it's a really great way, very quick way to make jewelry. You can get loads of different effects. I love to do them with the stone chips because it gives you this very natural sort of ruffle look, but at the same time, you know, natural gemstone chips are, you know, they are mined minerals, but because they're not like perfect round beads or faceted beads made from the mineral, they are chips. They are quite a cheap material to use, and a strand of chip, which what I put on here, it's 80 centimeter long, so it comes on a strand like that. And then I would just add it to the wire, and then we would wrap it around there. You know, they start about £253, well, up to I think £6, £57, the most expensive one. You could make a really stunning necklace, but if you bought the same thing like the Amazonite, don't hold me to this, I think it's £5.50 for the chips. But if you buy the round beads, they're like £18 a strand. So by using chips, you still get to use that lovely material, lovely gemstone material. Or let me add myself to the top. I forget it every single morning at the moment. Lovely gemstone material, but in the same time, they are quite inexpensive because by buying the chips, they are really good value. So we created 3 different packs, and we actually haven't got that much left. Some of them, I think some of them we only had very, very limited stock. I'm going to show you all. I'm going to quickly turn you and show you on the website, because Simon has given us an offer on it today. Let me just go on there, Totallybeads, and share my screen. There we go. So if you go on our website, we do have the button at the top now for Facebook tutorials. So if you click on that, it's going to take you straight for the Facebook tutorial page. Here, this is my wrap jewelry today. We were doing crocheting yesterday, and all the other lovely different Facebook lives, all the different techniques, and oh my god, we got hundreds and hundreds of them. We got so many. That is just loads. We've been doing it since the 23rd of March, every single day, doing something different. So there's lots to catch up on. Going into today's, I think the materials in the description is broken. Oh, could be. I'll check that, and I'll update that right now. Thank you so much. Only takes me a minute. No, because that's going to take all the thing away. Right. No, I won't be able to do it. Never mind. So I can't just update the titles very quickly. I thought I could do it, but I can't. So today we got 3 different bundles. We called them gold, rose gold, and silver. The gold has gold findings and gold wire with it. The rose gold has rose gold finding and rose gold wire with it, and the silver has silver finding and silver wire with it. And I chosen the color, so I chosen the chips and I chosen the crystals to match that color scheme. The satin wrap necklace is what you get is the same colors in every single kit, so you can match and you can make sort of different colors in there. But in the silver, I try to use blues, and I try to use that sort of colorways, what I think would go very well with silver. And in the rose gold, I'll try to use pinks and all sorts of stuff. Right, let's get back to the mat. There we go. Go back there. That's it. So show you in flash. This is the part of the rose gold one. That one is made up, and I had a necklace as well, another one, this one. So we have other chips here as well, and other crystals you could use. So that's what you would get in the rose gold as well. I love them because such a lovely materials. And as you can see, I added something which is a little bit more grey. This one is a bit more multicolor. Then we got this lovely dark quartz, and this is again pink, but it's got a hint of grey in it, so it's not that obvious, sort of jumping in your face pink. So that's our rose gold. Then I'm quickly going to show you, this is the gold. So in the gold, again, you're gonna get all sorts of different, three different gemstone chips. So you're gonna get this lovely tiger eye, so true jade, and the dark quartz as well. And crystals, I love this bronzy color, but you get also a beigey color and a goldy color as well, goldy champagne color as well. So as you can see, again, with the colors, I try to match it what you would, if you like gold, perhaps these are the colors what I think would go really nice with gold. And the silver, which is my favorite, it's always is more with the silver. I went more blues and more monochromes as well. Where is my silver strands? There at the bottom. So with this one, you have the snowflake obsidian, you have the sodalite, you have this lovely back-related quartz, you have three different colors of the crystals. So you have that lovely turquoisey color, you have this lovely electric blue, and you have your, it's like a navy color, but it's more like, I think it's called depending on what you put it on. I love this color because if you put it on black, it's more like a hematite color, but if you put it on blue, it comes up more like a navy color. And I will show you how to add the ends. Right, so let's get started. What color shall we make? Shall we make a silver, a gold, or the rose gold? Do let me know, and I will make those ones. What size are the crystals? The crystals are 4 by 6 millimeter. You can do them smaller ones as well, but then obviously instead of 2 strands, you're gonna need 3 strands to fill the same amount of space on your necklace. So do let me know. Shall we do gold, silver, or rose gold? One for rose gold already, another one for gold. Oh, Natalie's saying, oh no, just made yet another order. I'm waiting on them now. You were using 2 of my favorite things, wire and charm, so must resist. Oh, rose gold, rose gold. So we are having 3 for the rose gold at the moment and 2 for the gold. So I'm gonna move for 5 for the rose gold. So I think we are going rose gold. So I'm just going to get the wire out. Now the wire is a high quality color remain wire, and that's what I love about it, that it's going to take a long time to tarnish. I am testing that wire, and Sarah made me this bangle middle of August, and I've been wearing this bangle since then. I don't take it off for a shower, I don't take it off for anything. I've been wearing it since the middle of August because what I really want to test, how long does it take the color to fade away, because underneath the plating it's a copper wire. So how long does it take to fade away? And to be honest, there's a couple of places, especially at the bottom, because I have the clasp towards the bottom, which like it's coming through a tiny bit, but it haven't faded away yet. So 2 months non-stop wearing for a wire it's pretty good, because normally you wouldn't wear the same jewelry sort of over and over again non-stop, because you're wearing different clothes. But I just like to test things, so when we get things in, I just like to test them. So we have exactly like a really good idea that how long does it last. Right, so I already made, where's my samples gone? So we already have a one with the rose quartz chips and one with the purple crystals. Doing the crystals would be probably easier for the demo purposes, because I can add them to the wire really quick. So do let me know which one do you want me to put on the wire. Shall we use these rose color crystals, or shall we use these lovely gray rainbow color crystals? And then we're going to add that to the wire. But you also got another two choice of the stone chips, but they probably take me about 15 minutes to add it all onto the wire. This one is probably taking me about 3 minutes. So let's do the crystals. Hannah's saying, that's why I hate using silver plate wire. It tarnishes and wears off. So the silver plate in the color remain wire we have is this one. This is silver. So this is 2 months and non-stop wearing. And if you just use the normal plating, then I would reckon after a week the color would turn. But with the color remain, it will be like all the time. And we made the trees up with the color remain wire. We started to make the trees up in January, and I have the samples what I made since, oh gosh, last year. And they haven't changed color, because obviously they're staying still, and they look just as good. With obviously what you wear, there's perfume goes on it, there is, you know, the lotion goes on it. I'm cooking, so there is stuff was constantly getting in touch with the wire, so that's why. But 2 months, and like, even though I'm gonna bring it up for you, so you can't really see it turning just yet, but I reckon there's another month of wear I got out of it. But that's constantly wearing it every single day. Like rose, rose, rainbow, rainbow, rose, rose, rose. I think we got more rose than rainbows, if I count it right. Yes, we're gonna go with the rose. Very good. Okay, so I'm gonna start to add this on, and then I'm gonna ask you that which color. I'm gonna put this to the side, so so you can see them, and then you can have a little think while I'm adding the crystals on, what color of this setting called shall we add this rose one on. So we got a black, we got a navy, we got a steel blue, we got like a tealy blue, and we got a gold. So I'm just going to leave this here so you can have a look, and do let me know which one you fancy the best, and we got to add it on that. Right, adding the crystals to the wire, it's really easy and very quick to do as well, and I'm just going to show you how to do it. Now, don't take your crystals off the wire. That is the trick. So I'm just going to start at the end of the wire. What I like to do, I like to cut off this end, because like this part of the wire was underneath my label, and the labels are sticky. So sometimes it makes the wire a little bit sticky as well, and it's harder to get the beads on. So don't cut your strings, and what we're gonna do, we're just gonna undo the end just here. It's just looped around the end. I'm just gonna undoing this looping so I can quite easily get to my strand of crystals. I'll just pull that off, and I'm not gonna cut it off. I'm gonna leave it right on there. And then I'm gonna make sure this is nice and straight, just like that, and I'm gonna add all my crystals on very quick and easy. Just make sure I got a bit of length. Now I'm gonna hold it just like you would hold a pen or something when you're trying to poke something up. I'm gonna hold this up, And actually, if I change the camera angle, you might be able to see it better. So I'm going to hold this up, and I'm going to hold the crystals hanging down in one hand and the wire in the other. And all I'm going to do, I'm just going to stuff this wire in the end of the crystal, and I'm going to do this little up and down sort of motion. And you can see that very easily and very quickly. I'm just going to stop there. We got that many crystals, which is probably about 12-13 pieces on our wire at the same time. And then I'm going to repeat. So again, make sure your wire is nice and straight, hold it up, and then just going to wiggle it down, and it's going to run down all the way. Now there is another way you can do it, and I'm going to turn you down for that one to show you. Like not holding it up, but you can do it on your mat. So again, I'm making sure my wire is nice and straight, and I'm just going to line it up with my beads on the strand. I'm going to line it up with my strand, and I'm going to pull this across and just keep pulling the beads across. So this one is a little bit slower, but you can still see that I can still get them on my wire really quickly, because I haven't taken the crystals off the strand, so they're sitting in the right direction with the holes sort of behind each other. So just which one is more comfortable for you. I do like to sort of hang it up and hold it down, but if you have to transfer a lot of beads and holding them up for a longer period of time, your arms might get a little bit tired, so you can do it this way as well. So at the same time, I'm just going to have a look at what we saying. So we got a lot of black, gold, gold, black, gold, golds. I think a lot of you wanting the gold. Then he's asking, will you be selling the wire in larger quantities? So I am trying to sort out the wire, and we're going to have a new shipment. So we already sorted the normal wire out, which is they're not color remain, but they're still colored and they still will be good. But we use those wire mainly for when Sarah does her lovely French beaded flowers or like home decor projects. So we sorted those wire out, and you're able to buy the red, the green, the silver, and some of the other one in a longer length. Now I'm trying to sort out the color remain wire as well, so we can have longer lengths, because if you like making a lot of jewelry, it just makes sense to buy in larger quantities because you can save more money. Kimberly's saying black, gold, black. I think we're still saying gold the most. So I'm going to add it onto the gold. I think it's going to look great, because even though I'm adding it onto a rose gold wire, and by adding this crystal, and because this crystal has got a rainbow finish, it has got a little bit of gold tint to it. So I think it's going to look really great. Sheila's saying good morning, late to the party. Oh, you will be able to watch back. See, very quickly. I just went like that, and look how much I added. Probably about 20 beads. So just work out which way is the easiest for you to hold your wires and crystals, but hold it so don't take the crystals off the string first, because if you take it off, this is what you have to do. I'm going to take the last one off and show you, because this one is looped around, so I would have to cut it anyway. So if you take all your beads off, this is what you're going to have to do. You have to pick it up one by one, you have to find the hole, and then you put it on your strand, and it takes ages that way, especially if you're using smaller crystals or pearls, or you know, anything smaller ones. So I'm quickly gonna add this one. So you need 2 strands. I like to have 2 strands for a necklace. I don't do the crystals all the way around, because even if you, especially if you've got longer hairs, the front of the necklace is what you can really see, and that's what visible on your neckline. And now as well, we're going into sort of winter. We're going to be wearing jumpers, cardigans, which can cover up our or part of our lovely jewellery as well. So I just do the front piece, but you got the choice how big you want to do the front piece. A couple of strands, this gives you probably about 20 centimeters, which I think is a perfect length. Right, I'm probably about halfway through with this strand as well. Just adding them all on. So this is a bit of a preparation time with this one, but once you added all your crystals on, added all your pearls or any beads you use, it's really easy and quick to wrap it around. And then we're gonna glue the ends on, make the ends up and glue them on. Now gluing the ends on, you could use E6000, which is obviously, on my opinion, is the best jewelry glue, but it takes a long time to dry, so sometimes I do use like Gorilla gel glue or sort of precision super glue to use as well. But always check on the bottle that what do they say, because sometimes, and I found it in the past as well, that I just bought the cheapest super glue and I tried to glue my necklace and it didn't take, and even if I left it for a long time, it did not glue it. I was trying to glue glass to metal and it did not happen. And what I ended up happening is that I glued my finger to the glass and I glued my finger to the metal as well, the metal cap. So it was just a cheap super glue. So do check on the bottle, what do they say as well. But E6000 is probably that's my choice, and I got quite a few of those in my I got all sorts of glues in here. That's my glue box. I even got wood glue in there. I don't know why. Maybe that was supposed to go to the garage and ended up here. Not sure. But yeah, and that's the Gorilla Glue, is the gel glue what I use if I need to have something glued very quickly. Jenny's asking, have you done this demo before? I think we might have done it right at the beginning when we started them back in March, but I'm not sure because we've done so many of them. Sometimes it might have been Sarah who done it actually. You get them and they all sort of go in. I usually can't remember what I done last week, not like back in March. But that is just me. I think my head is like a sieve the most of the times. Right, I'm almost there. I'm just adding the last few. And then I'm gonna start wrapping it on. Just the last two. That's it. Right, so I usually just do a little sort of loop on the end of my wire just to remedy any accidents that would happen. Like when you're trying to set yourself up and move things all around the table, and sometimes what can happen is all the beads go zhoosh and they go off your string. So always do just a little loop at the end, and this will stop, even if my beads travel back, it will stop them falling off. Right, so we're gonna add it to the gold. Now I really want to, because these are already cut length, I really want to make sure the crystals I'm adding is gonna end up in the middle. So I do have a very good idea where to start, because obviously we've done some before, so I could measure it to that. But if this is the first piece you're making and you're not quite sure where do you need to start, then what I always suggest to do is don't do the full wraps to start with. So we're gonna leave probably maybe half a feet, 15-20 centimeter tail, and where we think it will end up, or when we think we will have to start our wrapping, we're gonna start there. Leaving that tail, we will need this tail later on, and all I'm gonna do first of all is just wrap maybe a couple of rounds around, or maybe 3, that's it. But all I did, This is not finished yet, I just secured it temporarily, my wire onto my setting cord here. And if I end up, maybe wrap it all the way to the end, and if I end up that the wrapping is uneven, I can come back and slightly move it, and I'm going to show that to you as well. So I'm going to move all the crystals up. I'm going to wind the wire back up on my spool, and it's got this little sort of dip at the end. I'm going to make sure I'm going to pull that in there, so I have actually just give a little bit more, so my wire spool is not going to run away. And all we're going to do, this is going to be the easiest piece you make, I have to say. All you're going to do, you're going to hold it in two hands. So you're going to hold your setting cord, wrap setting cord in one hand, usually hold the end of the wire down as well, and in the other hand you're going to hold the wire with the crystals on there. And I usually I hold it with my ring finger and little finger, and then with my index finger and thumb I'm pushing the crystals up as I'm wrapping around. Because if you don't push it up, what happens is, and I'm going to show you just in a sec, so I'm just going to wrap this around, and this is all you do. You're just going to wrap it around, you're going to go around, and you're going to create this lovely little curl. But if you don't push the crystals up, like I'm not going to push it up this time, look what happens when I'm wrapping. They're sort of traveling backwards and forwards, and you're going to be creating places where the crystals are not nice and tight next to each other. So I'm just going to come back. I'm going to let more crystals come down. And I'm going to keep wrapping it around. Angela's saying, done that before. It is a technique what I do go back to quite often, because it's so easy to do, and very quickly you can have a really nice looking jewelry, a nice piece. So if you're going out, sorry, I'm going to have to move this up a little bit, get away from the table, so I got more free space to wrap. So I like to wrap it around that way. I've seen people before when they hold their hand quite sturdy with the wire, pushing the crystals down, and they wrap the cord itself as well. They twist the cord around, I guess. You could do it that way as well. So this is another way how you can get a nice and even coil onto your necklace. There is many different ways to do exactly the same technique, and that's the beauty of it. All on the demos on Facebook, yes. So we have been doing these demos since the 23rd of March, and we have had, oh gosh, that's like 7 months now. We had loads of different projects, loads of different techniques. We played with loads of different beads, different colors, styles, shapes, sizes. We've done a lot, so you can watch them back if you go on our website. In the Facebook tutorial, they're all there. You can watch back all the way to March. They're also on the Facebook page, and you can go back and watch them as well. If you go into videos, it's probably better to do it from the website, purely because in the Facebook we add other posts as well, so it gets diluted. You can share it. If you do share the video, then it will stay on your timeline, so you will have it forever, or you can go back and watch it. We also on YouTube as well, so you can find all the videos on YouTube as well in Totallybeads. You can find it in Kitty Robinson Designs. Right, so I got to the end and I've wrapped it all the way around. So anyway, when you're wrapping it, just work out what is the most comfortable way for you to hold the wire and the beads and the cord what you're wrapping on itself, to get a really nice and even coiling around your cord. So I got here just at the end. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take it and wrap it around 2-3 times. I'm not really worried about if this is even, because what we're gonna do first, we're gonna size it up. We're gonna make sure this is in the place where we want it to be. So I'm just gonna have a look. I'm gonna bring the two ends together, and pull this down. So as you can see, we are out, not much, about 1 centimeter. We are at 1 centimeter. So you could leave it like that. You could trim the end of the cord if you needed to, but I am quite OCD. I do like my necklaces completely in the middle. If I do something like this, that has to be something like, you know, I even 1/2 centimeter off is throws me off when I'm wearing it. I just, maybe it's just subconscious, I guess. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna unwrap this end and we're gonna bring it up just a tiny bit. So that was about just 1/2 centimeter. Now I'm gonna wrap it tighter this time. And I'm probably going to do about 5 wraps, so this is really not going to move. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to this end, I'm going to unwrap my tail, and I'm just very nicely, I'm not doing big pulls, I'm just doing a little pulls. I'm going to move down my coils. So if I put these ends together, they should be exactly the same now. Yep, that's it. So I'm in the right place. I'm going to start wrapping my tail around nicely and tightly, pulling it. So I'm pulling the wire away from the cord itself, and in my other hand I'm pushing the cord into the other direction as I'm going around, so I get a really nice and tight and even wrap around. And I'm just going to keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping until I'll get to the sort of, you know, 1 centimeter of wrapped loops here, or I use my wire up. Just like that, we are almost there. If you get towards the end and it's harder to hold in your hand, just get a pair of pliers and you can just hold the end with the wire and pull it right in. Now I am ready to cut the end off. But before I go any further, what I always do when I'm working with wire or doing anything else, I'm going to come back to my chain nose pliers, and can you see that little end just there is sticking out? Can you see? If I turn it, what way do I turn it so you can see it the best? Probably you can see it there just sticking out, that little end. So what we need to do, we need to go in with our chain nose pliers and just push the end down. So when you're wearing your jewelry, and sometimes I push it on the coil I made before, so sometimes when you wear your jewelry, you don't want that little scratchy feeling around your neck, because that's like sort of annoying. So if you rub your hands on it and you can't feel the end, then you got a perfect finish there. And then I'm going to jump back to the other side. Oh, I should have counted how many coils I added here. I think I added probably about 10, 11. So that will be fine. And then we're going to do a nice and tight wrapping here as well. I'm going to move these up just a bit. And then we're going to wrap around a bit more. Susan is saying she loves symmetry. Yes, me too. It's like sometimes when you go into the room and you have like the sofa, for me it needs to be in the middle of the wall, or the I just love it. But then I guess we're all different. So another couple of wraps, and I think roughly what length did you pre-thread before you started wrapping? So it was a couple of strands of the crystals we sell, the 4x6 millimeter crystals, depending on what size of crystals you use. So to achieve the same length with smaller crystals, you might need 3 or 4 strands, so depending on what size you are wrapping with. This one is a 4x6 on this cord was 2 strands. So if I had 4 strands, probably I would have gone all the way around. But I think that's really pretty. And with that, you have completed the middle of your necklace. So that's how long it takes. All we need to do is to add the ends, and then we are ready to go to wear it. Right, where did I put? There it is. So the end caps, what you get in your kit, these lovely little closed end caps with a loop at the end, which this is what makes jewellery, I suppose your jewellery really professional, because you have a nice professional finished end on it. Now the caps and the jump rings and the lobster clasp is separate. Well, you could add a magnetic clasp, I suppose, if you wanted to. Instead of adding the lobster clasp, you could take a in the kit you get lobster clasp, but I know some of you do like the magnetic clasp. So if you got a magnetic clasp at home, I would glue the ends on first, and then I would attach the magnetic clasp with a jump ring to the end. If you got the lobster clasp, then you want to go and do it the other way around. So let me just grab the lobster clasp out of the kit, because, and I show you this, because depending, you don't want a wonky necklace. So depending how you glue the end caps on and how they're sitting, it's going to make life easier or harder how you're gonna close and open your necklace. So if one end, because this has got sort of a loop on it, so if this end is sitting that way, where you can see through the loop, and the other end is sitting this way, so you can't see through the loop, once you're trying to put them together with the jump rings, they're gonna always want to try to twist. So if you are using the lobster clasp, what I always suggest is to make up your ends first. So I'm gonna take the lobster clasp, take the jump ring, I'm gonna take 2 pairs of pliers, and I'm gonna open it up. I'm going to add it to my end just to go through that little loop, and I'm going to close it back in. Now never pull a jump ring apart, you're always going to twist it apart, so you're going to twist one towards you, the other one away. I like to sort of rub the ends together, so I'm making sure that it's all completely closed. On the other side, I'm going to add that end cap and the lobster clasp on at the same time, and I'm going to bring it back in, twisting it back in, and I'm going to make sure those ends are completely closed. So if I sort of just wiggle it a little bit and I can feel the ends sort of rubbing on top of each other, I know I got a nice and closed finish. And then I'm going to add these 2 ends together, just like that. So I just closed the jump ring into the lobster clasp, and if I add it onto the end now, you will see how it needs to sit on the necklace. It's like you need to see through both of those both of the holes on the end cap. I hope that makes sense. Minnie's asking, is this on the USB? Oh, I think it was on USB number 2. I think, yes it was. Are those cords 5mm? They are 6. They're satin wrapped cords, but you get them in the kit as well. So instead of $27.99, they are $21.99. You got 5 ends, you got 5 cords, 1 of each color in there. You got 3 strands of gemstone chips and 6 strands of crystals. So overall, you probably have about £40 worth of materials in there. If you bought this separately, they are £1 each. Then you need to buy your ends separately. You need to buy your crystals, would be £2.50 a strand, and you have 12 in there. The gemstone chips, like from £2.50 up to £3.54. So again, you got another tenner worth in there. So if you add it up, the kit's probably worth about £40, and you can have it for $21.99 today. You will have leftover crystals, but you can also, what you can do is you don't just have to use 1 color crystals in there. You could use, I could have started with the purple or started with the rose and then add a purple in the middle and add more rose on the side, or you could add a crystal, stone chip crystals. You can make all sorts of different patterns. Right. To glue your ends on, I'm going to add a tiny bit of glue just inside there. I'm going to use this, actually we can use the E6000 I've got one open here. Is this open? No, that's not open. That's an original one. I'm going to use the E6000. I got one open here. They come with this lovely little nozzle. And if you haven't used it for a while, which I haven't properly glued with this for the last quite a few months, I think, because I haven't done anything gluing, what you need to do is sometimes the end gets blocked up. So I'm going to go in with a needle and I'm going to pierce that end, or you can actually trim the end off a little bit, but if you keep trimming the end off, well, you can end up that the glue will ooze out later on. So even just with your round nose pliers, you can go in, just free the end up. Is that going to come through? If not, then we're just going to open the new one. I think I need a needle. There's some big eye needles on here. Because I moved out of my craft room, oh yes, so that's going through nicely. Moved out of my craft room, there's not everything sort of at my fingertips how it used to be. Right, so that's coming through. You're gonna come through now? Or do you make the hole bigger? You know what, I'm gonna open a new one. Oh no, it's coming through. You? Now I have to push too hard, and then you know what's going to happen, the glue's going to go over. So I'm going to open a new one. Just going to push, turn the cap around, make that hole on there, make sure it's not sort of oozing out. It's good to have like a little plastic bag or something at hand, just in case. And I'm going to twist this cap on the top, which gives us this really nice nozzle. And I'm going to use this plastic bag just underneath it. Just going to pop it there. So when I glued it, I can just rest the ends on the plastic bag so I don't get my glue everywhere. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to add just a little dollop inside the cap. Sometimes less is more with super glue, so you don't need to fill the whole cap up. We just added a little, I don't know, a peppercorn size, and then I'm just going to push the end in on one side, and I'm going to repeat the same on the other side. I usually do have like a little pot when I would pop the glue in when I'm not using it, so the glue doesn't come out. But I'm just going to pop the top back on it. What did I do with the top? Take this one. I'm going to pop the top back on so it doesn't come out. Right, and we're going to push that end in here. Now, if you're using E6000, you're going to have to hold your ends a little bit, so until it gets going. But before it gets going, what I usually do when I have the ends together, I turn the caps, so I know, if you look at the necklace, that the lobster clasp is hooking from the outside towards the inside of my necklace. Does that make sense? And I would put it down and hold it together with something, so there is no stress on the cords themselves, so they can really nicely and easily dry together just like that. So I would put something on the top of it, something a little bit heavier, which is gonna keep them staying just like that box, and that will do. And I will leave that overnight, and next day when I come in, it will be perfect, and they will be in the right place, they will be in the right connection to dry. Let me just turn the camera around. Yes, there you go. Hello. Well, Maria's saying, always have a hat pin in top of the glue, stop it clogging nozzle. Yes, very good. A very good tip. Sometimes do check it, because if you stick the hat pin in the end of it, you might not be able to screw the top on. So do check if it's worked with it, but that's what I would do. I just stick a needle through it and it will come through. I don't know when was the last time I used this glue. Quite a few months ago, I think. Lucy's saying USB to Project 5. Didn't even realize I had this. Yes, lovely. You do. Do you have a go with all sorts of these? You could use pearls. You could use anything you like. Joy's saying add a small safety chain. You could do, or what you could do, you could add a extension chain as well on the back. You could make it with jump rings, so you could multi-wear it. So you could wear your necklace bigger, or you can wear it smaller as you go along. And especially if you make it for somebody you don't quite know the size of their necks, and something like this, I haven't got the ends on this one, but something like this, for some people they will want to have it quite up the top, and some people like to, I probably would prefer it, wear it a little bit down with certain tops, and then if I have something like a turtleneck or something, I might wear it further up. So by adding a or making a chain at the end of it with jump rings, you are giving that multiple use for the necklace. So you can use it in, I probably wouldn't wear it down there, but I think that would be nice. It's multi-usable and you can wear it on however you want to wear it. That looks pretty. I think that satin tubing would be very comfortable to wear around the neck too. Yes, and it is, because it is bendable, but it's not stiff, but it still keeps that shape. So I really do like this one. And there is a thicker version as well, which then, have I got any here? Let me just have a look. Oh yes, I forgot to show you this one. There is a thicker version of it as well. Let me just turn you back down and show you what's the difference. So this is 10 mil, I think. 9 mil, 10 mil. And there we go. So this is the thicker version versus the thinner version. So if I get the same colors in the thicker and the thinner, then you will see what's the difference. So this is the one we just been adding the beads on, and that's the thicker version, which I think is about 8 mil, 9 mil, something like that. And that's the thinner one and thicker one. So with the thicker one, you will be doing the same thing, wrapping it around. Again, stone chips, beads, anything you want, it's just giving you a thicker cord. But it is a satin thread wrapped around a nylon cord, a nylon tubing. So that's why that tubing inside holds its shape. You can trim it. If you want to trim it down to a bracelet, you could do, but before, like for example, if I decided I want to cut this one right into the middle and make 2 bracelets out of it, I would add a little tiny dash of glue just on the top where I want to cut, because what's that going to do? That's going to secure your threads to the tubing underneath it, and it's not going to jump back and unreal as you go along. So that's a little bit of a tip there for you, so if you want to make it shorter. But you know, I love them. I think they are really great and very quick way to make some jewelry. There's a tool called Coiling Gizmo to create coils with wire. Yes, there is. I'm sure I got one somewhere. I had it for many years, and you can make little wire beads and loads of little bits of pieces with that. But all it is, you twirling around a bar, like a metal bar, and it's sort of creates the wire curling around. I like to do these by hand because I think you get more natural look when it's a tiny bit uneven, but it's even all the way through. So I hope that makes sense. I think it just looks more natural. And because, like for example, if you use the chips as well, they're gonna be smaller and bigger chips on there as you go along. So you might, you know, if you're using a gizmo or something like that, you might coil it too tight in places and too loose in other places. On my left, look till crooked on a cap. The left one? You mean this one? This one is gonna be all right. But this is the beauty with using E6000, that you can still leave it. I usually leave it for, I don't know, maybe about 20 minutes, half an hour, which is just enough to get tacky. And then I will come back and I will readjust it. So with super glue you can't do that, because once you glued it, you put it down, 10 minutes later it's solid as a rock. With the E6000, this is what you can do. So I will go away, I will have a piece of toast, and then I come back and I can readjust the ends if they moved a little bit. So that's the beauty of using E6000, and then I will leave it overnight to get dry. Right, so I hope you enjoyed today. Sarah's going to be with you tomorrow, and she's doing peyote stitch rings, I think. She's going to be either a peyote stitch ring for USB number 3, and we did all sorts of different stuff, but she's doing something a little bit different. She's really into like making little patterns and spelling out things and do all sorts of things with beads at the moment, and like she did with the brick stitch and all the other ones as well. So I think it's going to be completely different from what I did, but this is the thing, you can use the same technique and have completely different results. So she's going to be with you tomorrow, and yeah, so I'll be on my channel on Kitty Robinson Designs on Facebook and on YouTube on Sunday night for a little chat. If you're around, do join me. We just go and talk about what happened in a week and what's coming up. The email went out yesterday to join the, well, it's not to join the bead club, it's to sign up to the bead club newsletter. So if you are interested in the bead club, do sign up to the newsletter, because there will be special vouchers in there coming out to you when the website for the bead club goes online. So if you're interested in that, make sure you head to Totallybeads newsletter and sign up for the bead club newsletter, because we are starting workshops in November every single week, which you can join as a one-off, but we created a club behind it, so if you want, you can be part of every single one of them in your time slot. Right, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Sarah's gonna be with you tomorrow. I'm on my own channel on Sunday. Otherwise I will see you next week here. Take care everybody, have a lovely weekend.